Tuesday after Outside Lands and I still haven't unpacked my suitcase. I thought it could be fun to kind of just debrief my weekend and give any like tips and tricks that I picked up. This is now my 3rd year in a row going, so I feel like I'm a little bit of a pro, but obviously there's still so much to learn every time you go and just new things that you realize. I'm still very tired from going all 3 days. I haven't even like washed my hair since before the festival, but I wanted to get this done and unpacked before I like reset the rest of my life. I thought it could be helpful to go over the bag that I like to actually bring into the festival. This is the bag I've used, I think, every time for the past 3 years. I did also bring this one, which is just like a little purse that I got while traveling, and it's a really good one for going out, but I feel like for a festival, I like to have a few more things than what this can fit. So I brought this, but didn't end up using it at all, and I only use this bag. There's like only 2 little pockets in this bag, and I'll usually put like makeup in one of them, anything I need for touch-ups, lip products, powder, eyebrow gel, like whatever I might need. Currently in here, there's just like a bunch of hair clips that I took out after one of the days. So I have a bunch of hair clips and like earrings and hair ties in there. I also always bring some period product. This is a Flex Disc, which is my go-to period product. I highly recommend if you can learn how to use them. Kind of life-changing. Didn't end up needing this, thank God, because I would actually hate to have to put this in a porta potty, but I like to have it just in case. I do have a lip gloss and just more hair clips and a starburst that someone gave me in a crowd. In the other pocket, I like to keep my wallet and any cash, so it's just like a little bit more accessible. I also sort of randomly have like an extra pair of contact lenses in here. I just keep my wallet and then some small bills. I also have some Lactate in there this year and a mint. I don't know what that's from. I have a little thing of Tylenol because I'm allergic to ibuprofen. I did bring in some mints. These are just the Trader Joe's ones. You are allowed to bring these in, and they actually didn't open this any of the times that I went through security. They did open my friend's one time, so do with that what you will. I get really dry hands, and Vaseline is just my go-to moisturizer always, so I keep like a small-ish sized Vaseline on me at all times. I also have hand sanitizer. This is actually hypochlorous acid because it's more effective on like norovirus and stuff, and I really don't want to get norovirus. It's also a little bit more gentle on your skin, and I have eczema, so I love this. I have a Tide pen that didn't end up needing to be used, some sunscreen. Usually I'm more prepared and I will get like a fresh pack of wet wipes. I was kind of busy the week leading up to Outside Lands this year, so I didn't have as much time to like prep and get everything that I would, but I had a few of these left over from another time. I have some lip things, of course. I do have a headband in here with a little sprout on it. This was just like part of one of my looks, so that's not really something that I need. I did bring Flonase because Outside Lands is in Golden Gate Park, and so there are a lot of allergens, so I brought this just in case. I didn't end up needing it. It was nice to have. My inhaler. Lastly, I have some earplugs and some eye drops. Like I said, it's in a park, so allergens can really go, and there's like winds and stuff at times. Super helpful to have, and that's everything that I keep in my bag. I also will usually buy like a small reusable water bottle there. I need to like find one that would be good to like fit in this bag. This year my friend just bought one at the beginning of the weekend, and I used it to like refill all weekend long, and it was nice and small and fit in this bag. However, on the last day my bag did get kind of full, and I ended up using this keffiyeh that I had tied to my bag anyways and was just going to use for like added warmth if I needed. I actually tied this to my bag in a way that created like a little extra space at the bottom, and so I put my water bottle and some snacks into like the bottom part of this bag, and then had all of the rest of my essentials zipped up into the actual part of my bag. I essentially just used this as like a little bag extender to put in anything that I was like, I'd be sad to lose, but not devastated. Like if the water bottle or the snacks fell out in a crowd, like sad, but at least it's not my wallet. A keffiyeh or any type of scarf that could also give like some extra warmth, or like what I did and tied it around my bag and made it a little bag extender, is a super great thing to have at a festival. Obviously, I would highly recommend it being a keffiyeh because then it's also a political statement and a sign of resistance and allyship. This one definitely needs to be washed now after the weekend. I'm usually better at remembering this, but I try to bring extra layers every year. So whatever long sleeves I have, any like Uniqlo heat techs, I'll usually just throw in my bag and see if I end up needing them. Somehow I forgot that this year, and one of the days I really wished I had a long sleeve with me. So next year I will definitely remember to bring my long sleeves for last minute layering. But I did have some pretty warm outfits this year, like this sweater, and in general I was warm enough, but I just couldn't believe that I forgot my long sleeves. This entire packing cube is full of dirty clothes from Outside Lands. So I'm just gonna throw that whole thing in my laundry basket and wash it. This also has dirty clothes. This one has some more like outerwear stuff that I've got to put away. I just like brought my whole makeup bag, even though I probably used like 50% of the things in there. It's my toiletries bag. She kind of just stays packed always. This was my like one little bag of clean clothes, so I'll sort through those later. I wore boots one of the days and I put them in this like packing bag, so I need to take these outside and like rinse them off and disinfect them somehow. I take like a daily allergy med, which is why I wasn't sure if I would end up needing the Flonase. Like I said, I didn't. It was really nice to learn this year that snacks are allowed to be brought into the park. In my head, because they were selling food there, I just like didn't think that they would also allow snacks. So it's definitely something I'm going to take more advantage of next year, is bringing in my own snacks, just for those like in between little like snackies that are nice to have in a crowd, or when you're like going from one stage to another without like a food break in between. It's just always nice to have a little bit of extra food. I also feel like in general, I would just tie any like layers or scarves or anything like that to my bag, so that while it's daytime and still kind of warm and sunny, it just like looks like a cute bag that's like extra colorful or extra accessorized. And then as it gets colder, you can take some of those layers off and wrap them around yourself for added warmth, but you get to still be hands-free during the day. I did bring ski socks to wear under my boots this year, and I feel like that was really nice for just some extra warmth, because I was wearing a skirt, so I did have some leg exposure once it got cold, but the ski socks and boots definitely helped. Something I learned this year is that if you use your physical Chase card versus Apple Pay, you get a little bit of a discount, which they don't really advertise. So use the physical card, not just Apple Pay, and save a little bit of money. I didn't bring a portable charger with me this year, but a couple of my friends did, and I didn't even end up needing to use it. One, because I got a new phone somewhere recently, so my battery life is pretty good right now. But I think it also helped that I made my lock screen the daily lineup for that day. I went to the Outside Lands Instagram and just took screenshots of each of their 3 daily lineups, and each morning before the festival, I would change my lock screen to be that day's daily lineup. That way I'm saving time going into my phone, going into pictures, or going into the app and trying to figure out which set I'm trying to go to next. I could just at a glance look at my phone, see what time it is, see what stage they're at, and plan from there. I think in the long run, it ends up saving a lot of effort, time, and battery percentage. That also just made it really easy to formulate a game plan. If the people in my group were wanting to go to different artists, we could be like, oh, we're gonna separate for this, but then we'll meet back up for this, so we can meet here. And it's just always nice to have like a vague plan that at least one person in each split of the group knows very well. Along that same thread, I would highly recommend taking a screenshot of the map in the Outside Lands app. Just like toggle off all of the filters and stuff so that you're not quite so cluttered, but it's definitely a difficult festival to navigate if you're not used to it. This was my first time really feeling like a pro navigating between stages, because I feel like I just like know where every stage is and like each little pocket of the festival now. But if you're still getting your bearings and getting used to it and remembering where everything is, I would highly recommend having a map to reference. Although it is San Francisco, I would recommend bringing sunscreen and just putting some on, because fog can be very deceiving. I ended up bringing little microphones and like a little table tripod that I didn't end up using, but they're small enough that they don't take up much space in my suitcase anyways. I also brought a mini sewing kit that I didn't end up using, but that's fine. I'd rather have it and need it than not have it when I need it. Also, setting spray, much needed. Another big tip of mine is to hydrate before and after each day. I was chugging like a big coconut water every morning before I was going into the festival, and some of the nights I had some afterwards as well. Whatever your hydration of choice is, I feel like do something that's like a little bit more than water. Obviously also drink water, but whether it's like a liquid IV, Gatorade, or coconut water, I'm definitely a coconut water girly out of those 3 options. Just do it. I feel like there's no harm in it. And that way, if you do forget to drink water throughout the day during the festival, at least your body is still hydrated from that morning coconut water or that evening Gatorade or whatever it may be. I saw someone say that they bring hand warmers into the festival as well, which I think is a really good idea. I don't feel that I've ever been that cold that I needed hand warmers, but if you are someone whose like circulation doesn't always get to your fingertips and stuff, would definitely recommend that, because that's like a small compact thing that could make a huge difference. Lastly, this wasn't really applicable to me because I just kind of ended up Ubering to and from the festival most days. But from what I've seen on the internet and just heard from other friends who took different routes home, definitely take advantage of Muni over the buses. I believe Muni is free with your Outside Lands wristband. And from what I heard, the buses just fill up so quickly that they don't even stop at any of the stops anymore. Basically, the buses aren't stopping at all unless people need to get off, and then still like no one can really get on. So I heard people who waited hours for the bus because buses just kept passing them by. So definitely check out Muni and see if that would be more useful to your ride, at least to get far away from the festival, to then call an Uber or try a bus in a different neighborhood. Definitely all the buses that are close to the park are just like not going to be your friend. Last year I did take a bus and it was awful. It was a horrible experience. It was so hot on there. It was just like nauseating. So either walk far enough away from the park to get an Uber that's not $1 million, or take Muni. Outside Lands is genuinely just such a special music festival to me and my friends, whether it's like the artists themselves and all of the music that we get to enjoy, or the fun outfits we get to put together and accessorize, or the makeup and the hair, or the food. Like there's just like so much fun involved in Outside Lands planning, anticipation, and then the actual festival itself. I love going to Outside Lands and will definitely be back next year. Let me know if you went to Outside Lands and who your favorite performance was. I loved Audrey Hobart's set. She did amazing. Her stage presence was so good. The friends of mine that I brought to her set who hadn't ever listened to her music before kept saying that she was so good and that her stage presence was amazing. So great job to Audrey. That was definitely my favorite set of the weekend, but I also loved Rufus the Soul. I loved her brother Malcolm's set. Malcolm Todd did awesome. And there ended up being a surprise Leon Bridges performance at Debauchy Triangle, which don't sleep on Debauchy Triangle. That's one of the smaller stages that is actually so fun. Times that I've seen like DJ sets there have been so cool, and I love how it's like in the woods with the string lights and like the giant orbs in the sky. Like it's just like such a fun place to be. But I could not believe our luck that Leon Bridges was there on Sunday for a surprise set. I actually didn't recognize any of the songs he played earlier in the set, and then I had to leave to go to Rufus du Soul, but it was still just like special to see him live and so nostalgic for me and like my college friends. Thank you for hanging out with me while I unpack my suitcase and my Outside Lands 2026 experience. Like I said, I love Outside Lands so much and I'm already so excited to go again next year. Let me know if you went to Outside Lands this year or have ever been and have other tips or tricks that I don't know about or forgot to mention down in the comments. That would be super helpful for myself or anyone else watching this video who is curious about going. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you next time. Bye!